Am I the asshole for leaving my friend's dog at a dog shelter after she abandoned him at my home? I'm 35 female. I have a friend, 32 female, who asked me to dog sit her poodle for 2 weeks while she was on vacation with her husband. I had some rough patches with this friend before, but she paid me before I had to take care of her dog, and my house is big, so I agreed. I really like dogs. I had many throughout the years, and now I have one good golden boy named Dorado. But I really hated this dog. It peed everywhere. It was destructive. It picked fights with Dorado, felt entitled to my food while having a full bowl untouched, and even shit on my bed. Out of all the places he could shit, he decided to shit on my bed. After 2 weeks, I called my friend, expecting her to be back in town and to come get her little monster. She never answered. No text, no social media, nothing. After trying to reach her on Instagram, I got blocked. I waited for her to appear in front of my door, but that never happened. I called her husband, also ghosted me. After 10 days of being ghosted, I had enough. I went to a shelter and dropped the dog there. They won't accept pet dogs into a shelter, so I said it was a stray dog. I finally had peace at home, and 1 week later, my friend called me, saying that she was coming back for her dog. I blew up at her, asking where the hell she was, and that I got tired of waiting, so I dropped the dog off at a shelter. She started fighting with me over the phone, saying that it was unfair and that I was putting her dog in danger, and that I could have just waited a little longer. I sent her the shelter address, and some days later, she said that she was going to sue me because she had to buy her dog back. The shelter doesn't sell dogs. Maybe she was charged an adoption fee. She is making my life so much more dramatic right now. Maybe I should have just waited a few more days. Was I wrong for what I did? Oy. Putting myself in the original poster's shoes, I can't think of anything that I would have done differently here. If the dog wasn't a monster, she would have waited. But the dog was very poorly behaved, and the dog's owner straight ghosted her, blocked her. As soon as she did that and strayed from what she originally agreed upon, all bets were off. It didn't matter. They had a verbal agreement. The dog's owner / OP's former friend strayed from that agreement and then got pissed off because there were consequences for it. Well, what did she expect to happen? It was 10 days after she said she would be back to get her dog. 10 days, almost double the amount of time. And she's got to know that her dog's a monster. She's got to know. She's got to know that her dog is just very poorly behaved. And in that case, I mean, what are the other options? Having it boarded somewhere and boarding it and just waiting, but then OP has to pay for that boarding under the assumption that the owner's never going to come back. So she could have done that maybe for a couple of weeks just to wait and see what happened. But when she tried to reach out to the dog's owner and the owner's husband, she got ghosted by everybody. So that's a strong indication that they're just not coming back for the monster, probably because it's a monster. And I don't know if this is a common thing for poodles to be badly behaved, but I can tell you that my golden doodle, who is part poodle, is a little bit of a shit. They have some behavioral tics. They're a wee bit ornery. For someone who hasn't taken that dog into their family and made it a permanent fixture, I can see how, babysitting one for an extended period of time would probably make you want to just jump off the roof. I get it. She didn't endanger the dog by taking it to a shelter, as long as this shelter was a humane shelter that doesn't, dispose of dogs or do something crazy like that. I know they exist, but assuming that this wasn't one of those shelters, that this was a safe place for the dog, I don't know what else she could have done. I really don't. Unless it was maybe reach out to a third-party friend who is friends with both and then, tried to find some solution that way. But I can't think of anything that OP really could have done differently here. She did everything that she could. She tried to contact them multiple times to the point where she got blocked. So it's not on her. I hate to see a dog go to the shelter. However, what else was she going to do with this dog? She certainly wasn't willing to take it on as a part of her family, and I don't blame her. What do you do? At least the situation that she created was one where the dog's owner could get the dog back. I mean, she could have just been like, well, they abandoned this dog here. Hey, Facebook or whatever, who wants a dog? And then the dog has a new owner, and then the dog's owner can't get them back. I don't know. What would you guys do in this situation? I can't think of anything that I would have done differently. There might have been a couple of other options there, but this seems like a safe route. Hey, also, if you're not already following us on Instagram, we have a lot of really cool behind the scenes stuff there, including stuff with the family. Navy Thunder, our 18-month-old. If you haven't seen her yet, you need to. She's an absolute duel, as are all the kids, but she's the munchkin. She's the bebe. Also on YouTube, there is exclusive content there, including AITA compilations that are over an hour long if you like to just listen to them, and video versions of the podcast. Some story time stuff is there too. Also, we have the next podcast with Steve Newman in edit right now, and it will be coming out soon. So be watching for some teasers as well as the announcement that has been published. And of course, it will be out on all the podcast podcast channels, including YouTube. If you are not following, subscribed, and turned notifications on YouTube yet, you are really missing out. I'm serious. Don't miss out. You don't want to miss out. You will have an extreme case of FOMO if you aren't subscribed and turn them notifications on YouTube. Nobody want no FOMO. Ask on scale for the OP here. I'm going to say not registering at all. There's nothing that she should have or could have done differently to my knowledge, at least with the situation as it's been explained to us here. What she did was perfectly fair. I hate to see that happen to a dog, but the dog was perfectly safe. The dog's owner got it back. She was just pissed off, and well, she could be pissed off at herself. Woof.